labeled as overqualified can make it incredibly challenging to get a job. And there are actually two main reasons why it is negative to be labeled overqualified for a position. In today's video, I'm going to tell you what those two things are, and I'm also going to tell you what you can do about it. Let's go. Now, first and foremost, I have talked to so many candidates in my 15-year career of being in recruitment who have said they've been labeled overqualified. And it's made it impossible for them to get jobs. And I get it. It is really challenging. If you interview for a job, you're like, I'm qualified, I'm interested. And they're like, yeah, you're just too qualified. This is one of those things that only happens to people who are interviewing. You would never go to a doctor and be like, I feel like my doctor is too qualified. You'd feel great about that. But as a candidate, it can actually work against you. Now, this happens for two main reasons. Now, the first reason, it's basic human instinct. No manager wants to hire someone who they feel might be more qualified than them and might eventually, potentially, leave them out of a job. So it's a self-preservation thing. Think about it. If you were a person who was hiring and maybe you didn't feel 100% secure in your job and you hired someone who was incredibly experienced, accomplished, and someone who might actually be a better fit for your job, you might be reticent to bring someone on if they have that level of achievement, experience, accolades, etc. So that is the first reason. People are really hesitant to hire someone who could be future competition for their role, especially if they don't feel secure in their current company. Now, the second reason this happens is because people view it as a stopgap. They think, okay, they're unemployed, they're overqualified, they're going to apply to my job, get this job, and keep looking for other positions. And then as soon as they find something better, they are going to leave. And you might not be feeling that way, but a lot of people do that. A lot of candidates accept the job below what they're currently doing, keep interviewing, keep on the job hunt, and then leave. And for hiring managers, that's incredibly challenging because they have a role, they have it open. It's a challenge to have a role open on any team. It means work's not getting done. Other people are having to flex to accommodate the fact that you're a person down. And then to hire someone, and then after a short period of time, they leave, that's challenging. So no manager wants to hire someone who they feel might already be a flight risk. So those are the two main reasons. What can you do about it? Now, when it comes to combating being labeled as overqualified, it's actually pretty simple, pretty direct. You have to address those two concerns, right? The two concerns being, I don't want to hire someone who is overqualified and could be a fit for my job, self-preservation, and I don't want to hire someone who might leave as soon as they hire the next role. So you want to let them know that, well, in the past, maybe you've done manager roles, you are now more interested in individual contributor roles, right? That's like you used to be a manager, you're applying for an individual contributor role, and they're wondering why. You've been a leader before, why do you want this? This actually happens a lot in engineering. People get promoted to the point where they're actually taken out of the role they love and they're into people leadership. Spent their whole life playing with Legos, building things, and now all of a sudden they're a people manager and they want to take that step back. So what you need to do is make sure you convey in your interview that while in the past you've had positions that are more advanced, you found a lot more fulfillment in this type of role. So you've made the decision to pursue these roles as opposed to what you were doing previously. If they truly believe that now you were looking for a role that is more in line with what they have to offer and not what you've done in the past, which is what makes you overqualified, that is going to help a ton. Now, the second thing you need to do is you need to address the fact that you could be a flight risk. You need them to understand beyond a shadow of a doubt, if you accept this role, you aren't going to be applying elsewhere and you're not going to leave this role as soon as you find something better. So how do you go about doing that? Well, you want to make sure first they understand that this is the type of role you're interested in, right? You need to do the first step to this, letting them know you've made the intentional decision to pursue roles that are more in line with this as opposed to what you were doing previously. But then you also have to let them know that you are being selective. You're not just taking any job, but you're looking for something that's a great fit because you're hoping to stay in your next role for a long time. Saying things like that works. If you're closer to retirement, you can say things like, I'm hoping to be able to retire from my next company. Right? I've heard so many managers say, hey, they said this, I really liked hearing that. And the average tenure in which someone spends a job in America is 3.1 years. So, if you've got 10 years left in your career, is it likely you're going to work there for the next decade? No, but people do like hearing it. So it's important that you let them know that 1, you are interested in doing this type of work, and 2, you are being selective on choosing your next job because you would like to stay there for a while. You do not like having to go through the job interview process. You prefer to find a place and settle in. feel free to use some of that language to convince them that you are interested in staying in one job. Now, another thing you really need to do is blow them away in the interview. One of the ways to do that is nail the first 3 minutes and the last 3 minutes of the interview, because it is proven that those 6 minutes actually disproportionately impact the outcome. So I made this video here. In this video, I show you how to impact the first 3 minutes and the last 3 minutes, nail them, and increase the likelihood of getting a job. So I'm done here, but I will see you over there.